Hello and welcome back. I hope you're ready for another episode of Tales from Helheim. Papa, can you hear me?
Always with the fucking weirdest intros, dude. Why can't we ever have a normal intro?
Because, fucking Deadpool 3, that's why.
No. You can't. There is no context for you to drop that. That doesn't make any sense.
It does. It makes all the sense.
Okay. Unless you're gonna fucking put on a red spandex suit and then you're gonna do that whole fucking bye dance, you can't start the fucking podcast that way.
Fuck it. I'm getting a red suit.
Oh, God.
I already have the mask.
Guess who's back for the second time? Guess
who's back for the second time for the first time all over again?
He's back for the first time on the second time.
At least it actually makes sense now.
Okay.
He's back for the first time all over again.
Yeah, I went back and I listened to that first part of that episode. I was like, we spent like 10 minutes clarifying that shit.
You mean unclarifying it? Because it just got hazier as you went on.
I think it cleared it up.
Yeah, if you want to call that clear, we'll call that clear.
I feel like that fucking 10-minute argument is why we had to break it down to 3 fucking episodes.
Oh, God. No, just a bunch of awesome shit.
Yeah, boy.
So if you couldn't tell, it is we are 3. Yet again for this episode.
You Dr. Seuss fucking motherfucker. You smooth talking Dr. Seuss talking motherfucker.
Yeah.
3 is we is 3. You know what? Actually, I take that back. You just basically said the same thing, just in reverse.
No.
I'm easily amused.
I said, what? We are 3. 3 are we. Not is we, are we.
It would have been cool if you said the other way around.
Your word salad is giving mad presidential vibes.
Vote for me.
It's called being woke.
You have
Never
to drop
mind.
out of the race now, dude.
There is no wokeness here.
Drop out of the race and just become fucking Kanye's greatest collaborator.
But I don't like him. No offense, Kanye. Actually, yes, full offense. I don't
Sponsor
fucking
is
like
easy.
you.
So you're telling me if Kanye comes up and goes, hey, I want to sponsor you guys' podcast, but you could only wear fucking Yeezys, you telling me you'd say no to that?
Well, I mean, I can't make the decision solo, so...
I would easily, it would take, like, little to no, like, convincing. I'd be walking around those fucking stupid-ass rubber shoes.
Do I get one of the masks so no one can,
No, only
see
he
me?
gets to wear those masks.
Okay, I don't want to do it. I
I don't want to do it.
I don't support it.
I don't support the Yeezy.
If he sponsors the fucking podcast, I will happily wear those fucking stupid-looking shoes.
I mean, they're about the same as Crocs.
They look like the Mexican pambirote. Like, just, like, squished out. I'm like, those are the dumbest shoes I've ever seen, but if he sponsors this, I will happily wear them. And be like, these are the most comfy shoes I've ever worn.
So what you're saying is sponsor us, Pancake Feet.
Yes. Fuck it. Crocs, sponsor us too. We'll do any of this.
Only if we get
I have very loose morals. If
Only
you
if-
sponsor us, I will go with whatever you say.
only if we get a Tales from Helheim charm for the Crocs.
Fucking tells from Helheim times Crocs. It's just your beard hair glued to Crocs. I wouldn't wear those. You know what? Never mind.
I'm not.
Nobody sponsor us. I'm
I'm
done
not
with
shaving any of my beard hair, so that can't happen. Anyone comes at me with clippers around there, I'm sorry, you're getting stabbed.
I'll take it from your legs.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just patches of bald. We only sold 3 pairs.
Hey, had to try.
So it turns out people don't want human hair shoes.
Since
No,
when?
That's a horrible cursed item, my boy. Nobody wants that.
But since when? Well, funny enough that you should mention cursed shoes.
These are my magic shoes?
Yes, because today's episode is being sponsored by, spoken about.
Claritin.
Curses. Sponsor us, curses.
And Claritin.
Live clear. Claritin.
For dry red eyes, get clear eyes. I don't know
Is
how
Ben
many.
Stein dead?
I don't know how many of you listening remember those commercials, but
If not, I want to try to get Ben Stein on this. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I just want to hear that voice. Oh, no.
Mueller.
Yeah, so we have cursed items today.
Well, curses in general.
Oh, cursive.
Yeah. What? No faith?
What?
Do you not believe in curses?
I do, but it's just mainly more like in the cursed items. I don't know about like if you get cursed. I don't really have any like too. Well, actually, no. Fuck. Yeah, never mind. I have a story.
Yeah,
So-
let's start there.
Well, hold on. I want to find out before you begin. What do you guys think a curse is? Is it spiritual? Is it mental? Is it
Metaphysical.
just bad
I'm
luck?
scared. I don't know what that means. I think it's a series of unfortunate events.
So bad luck?
Yeah, I would say that I think it's like bad luck.
I don't know.
Or is it paranormal?
I think definitely there can be like a metaphysical or spiritual aspect to curses, cursed items, however you want to see it. Like, I guess I'm not gonna like claim I do or don't, but generational curses, like a curse on an individual or a cursed item.
Oh, you mean like the Lee curse?
The what?
Yeah,
The Lee family curse?
I don't know what the fuck that is. Someone explain this to me.
Well, let's before we get too far into that, we got to see what your story is.
Okay, but before we hop into that, what's you guys' favorite cursed item? You had to pick one, well, not favorite because it's kind of shitty to say it that way, but what is, like, when you do research on it and you're like, oh shit, this is wild, and if you had to pick one, what would you say is your favorite cursed item?
I think the like King Tut's tomb.
Oh yeah, that fucked over a lot of people.
Yeah. That really like messed some people up, and I think
Wasn't it like on the Titanic or like some kind of relic from his tomb, and that's why people were saying that they...
yeah, well there's a bunch. There's almost everyone who was involved in the opening of the tomb and stuff, and I think it's also because like they very much had a culture surrounded by like protecting themselves in the afterlife and believing in I don't want to say it's like a cult because it's like way more of like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But
it's like their whole culture's like surrounded by that. Like
yeah.
the mystic and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be like the one super cursed item. What about you, narrator?
I'm gonna have some thinking time because honestly, cursed items have never been a looking or a deep delving interest for me.
Oh,
like,
that's where we vary.
typically,
That's my shit.
yeah, typically like the main one I know is King Tut's tomb, and then
Your father's musket? His cutlass?
no, I don't remember who those are from, but I know they're on my dad's side. I just don't know where, but I don't think they're cursed. I think they're just haunted.
Yeah, but I mean like there's tons of stuff throughout like time that the curse or the myth of the Bell Witch.
There's a book, but I can't remember the name of it.
Curses for Dummies.
No,
So you want to
a-
curse?
It's a cursed book, but for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. But
A cursed book?
yeah, it had some interesting stories behind
Harry
it.
Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone?
You missed opportunity. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Ah, fuck me. Well, is that canon? I don't know if that's canon.
I can't remember if they made it canon or not.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had to choose like a cursed item, I have like my number one spot is like tied between two items. The first one is James Dean's fucking his little bastard, his car. Was that
Yeah.
a fucking spider? That where like everybody who's owned it has gotten either like killed or fucking like severely injured.
Oh, geez.
Or fucking Rudolph Valentino's ring, because everybody who got it like died. And
Oh,
you gotta
yeah,
start
didn't-
thinking like
Didn't we do an episode on that one?
we did a whole episode on cursed items, which is like I'm surprised that you're like blanking on it on items. What else? The Hope Diamond. That one's fucking wild too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I remember.
yeah,
you
if I had to
covering that
pick
one,
like
too.
my top favorite cursed item, I'd probably go either James Dean's car or fucking Rudolph Valentino's ring. Because that fucking that shit's wild. And like I always thought like if everybody's dying that's having the ring,
Because that was the radio show host one, right? Or the...
no, that was just a curse in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that one we can probably gloss over in this episode as well.
Yeah, because that was actually a pretty fucking trippy one.
Yeah, that was a different ring. A lot of rings are cursed. Now I'm thinking, I'm gonna take this off. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'd go with either of those two because you think like, oh well, if people are dying because they have that ring, the cursed ring, like there's probably made out of lead or something. Like no, they died like horrible deaths, like violent deaths. The ring, like no type of poisoning. Like a dude got murdered.
Well, and then there's like what we're defining as a curse, right?
Yeah.
Like, in order to be considered a curse, does it have to have some sort of intent behind it? Or can something be cursed or,
Like you caught a straight curse.
well, not necessarily a straight curse, but if it's an item that is associated with negativity and we refer to that item as a curse, but it's not like anybody explicitly said like everyone who owns this item is going to experience bad. I don't think that necessarily has to be intent.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would call that kind of item just a haunted object. Not necessarily a curse.
I don't know about haunted because haunted you would think more like ghosts, like around it or whatever. Curse just implies you're gonna have fucking terrible luck around this shit. Like you'll probably die. Like when I got my fucking cursed flat screen TV from that police auction, that triple homicide. I was like, I don't know, but the picture's pretty good on this.
Oh, God.
Like, yeah, I had it follow me like 8 times and almost murder me, but yeah, I don't know. Pretty good picture. 4K.
Well, so I mean, it's...
What really is a curse?
So technically, a curse is a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. So, by definition, it is done with intent.
Okay. So you can't accidentally curse somebody.
Yeah, so if we're speaking to like something like Tut's tomb, that was definitely like the intention. Like
yeah.
anybody who
Yeah.
messes with this
But then,
is
yeah.
going to experience negativity.
Well, then by all meaning, then there are like accidental cursings, because like James Dean's car, I don't think he's like on his dying breath like I hope nobody drives this fucking car, because then everybody who owned it, like they fucking like they got injured, they died, but then they also split the car up for parts, and then I think like the chassis of it like ended up just like rolling off a fucking car like on the way to a car show, and nobody ever found it. So I was like, I guess there is a such thing as like an unintentional curse. Or like if you just come into possession of an item and it's cursed and you don't know it's cursed, you're just kind of like building up the fucking stats for that item at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, curse is the more traditional way. I guess, yeah, you have to have intent.
Yeah, I think there's definitely items that are touched in a certain way
Yeah, they are.
that whatever experience they went through is so negative that they're kind of like doomed to repeat it. But I think in the context of like something is cursed, like with intent, and it's also like way spookier too. I think the fact that something was given negativity with intent.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So your story?
Well, you also got to think, too, like, what's going on in that person's mind when they're putting this curse, that they're in such a fucked up spot that they're willing to do something that fucked up.
I mean, most of the time, it's just kind of revenge. But there's like could also be people like, you know what? I hate people. I hate humanity. I'm going to set this fucking curse up and let's see how many people I can take out with it.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
So your story.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure I've gone over this one. I've said it at least once on here. But my curse was more like not intended towards me. It was intended towards my stepdad. So my mom and my stepdad, they're like, we're going to move in together. And then the spot we were living in, the guy ended up selling that spot like to multiple people. So he was kind of like scamming people for that property. And then,
yeah.
So then we ended up having to move from that, like the acre we were on, because he had sold it to like 4 other people, and my mom didn't have proof of like, hey, I'm the sole owner of this. Then, so this is kind of like a side curse going to the main curse, but the guy who owned that fucking property, I guess he did it to like this lady that they said she was like like a Mexican witch or something. And he did the exact same thing he did to us. We're like, hey, I own this property. I sold to this guy. You don't own this property, so I'm going to need you to move. After like taking her for like a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And like a couple months after that, he got really ill. And then he's like kind of like crippled now. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But like a month after that, he was like with the walker and he had lost like all of his body weight. And I was like, oh shit, he's all Ozempic'd out. Nice. This man's on weight loss drugs. But no, he couldn't walk without the help of a walker.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and then I think he might have died like shortly after that, but I don't know if he's alive or not. What's the reverse of a shout out?
Shout in.
Shout into that motherfucker. I had to change school districts because of you, you fuck.
Oh God.
But my stepdad ended up finding like a property for pretty cheap, and it was like 2 acres. And he had moved in and all that, and then I guess he had let it slip that this other lady was paying for the property, but she couldn't make the last couple payments.
Yeah. So
then the guy who owned the property ended up selling it to my stepdad. So he basically bought it out from under this lady. And same thing, like 90% of older Mexican women are fucking mess with some kind of the supernatural.
Oh God.
Yeah. So same shit that she was pretty pissed off that she didn't get this property because she couldn't make the payments on it. So he bought it, and like we moved in. Like, shortly after we moved in, like, a lot of weird shit started happening. Like, when we set... Because we lived in a trailer. When we set the trailer, like, what was my room? Like, I went underneath, like, I was just kind of, like, playing around outside. And I found, like, a javelina foot or a pig's foot. And it was wrapped in red twine. And I picked it up.
Yeah.
I was like, look, Mom. And she's like, don't touch that shit. And I just fucking threw it. And then I think, like, a couple weeks after that, we had found a bunch of, like, these eggs. But when you, like, cracked them, it was just white powder inside the egg. And then Mom's like, oh, shit, something's happening. And I think my stepdad had ended up stepping on one of those eggs.
Cocaine eggs.
No. It'd be cool if it was, but no. It was a curse egg.
You sure it wasn't, like, confetti?
No, it was not confetti. And I think my stepdad ended up stepping on the fucking egg before we, like, got him to crack them. And he was the one that was cracking them open. And after that, he, like, I don't know, I don't exactly remember what he had wrong, but he started developing, like, a pain in, like, his foot. And he had gone to, like, multiple doctors. They couldn't figure out what the fuck it was, but it was, like, growing. So then they eventually went to Mexico to find, like, a curandera, which is, like, a Mexican healer, or, like, a good witch.
Yeah, like a witch doctor of sorts.
Yeah, and then I remember whenever they went inside, me and my sister would have to sit outside, and we were, like, 6 and 7, and it's like an hour in Mexico. So we're like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And I remember that she's like, well, we're gonna have to do more sessions. And he's like, well, I can't keep coming to Mexico, so I'll come. She's like, I'll come to you. So they had done this fucking kind of like a ritual thing to kind of like heal the foot, and then my mom had to be in the room with her. I have to talk to her, get more clarification on this, because I don't think I've ever really asked her.
Yeah.
But we weren't allowed in the room. We weren't even allowed in the house. But we had to go use the bathroom, so we went inside. And there's like, they were chanting, but there was like a bunch of people's voices, and there was only 3 people in there, but it was like multiple voices.
Yeah.
And they had like blood oranges or whatever, and supposedly they fucking, when they cut the foot, like a worm came out or some shit. So it's like, oh, you stepped on like another witch's curse. And then like after that, I guess he started getting better, but we had gone out one night and we came back and there's a bunch of like sharp, like little pyramid rocks kind of formed into a circle. And everybody was scared to touch them. We had to get rid of the rocks, but nobody wanted to touch the fucking rocks. So
That's when you cheat and use a broom.
Well, I mean, my stepdad ended up like moving them with a shovel.
Oh, there
But
you go.
yeah, I was like, he got unintentionally cursed. But after that, like after all that shit happened, that's when we started seeing shit in the house. Like, I think I told you, like we were eating, me and my brother were eating, and we're sitting like facing the hallway, and I just saw like a figure of a white dude just kind of like walking to the bathroom, but it was like transparent. Yeah.
Damn.
And that's when like all that shit kind of started, and I was like, damn, that's really fucked. Like I got unintentionally cursed because I was curious and I picked up a fucking pig's foot. But yeah, that's kind of what happened there. I was like,
At least you didn't step on the egg.
yeah, no, I want to throw those eggs, but we couldn't touch them. Yeah, he stepped on it. I was like, oh, you done fucked up, son.
So that could be like a potentially really good example of like a cursed place, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it wasn't the place. I think it was that the curse happened on the property, but it was because of the place. It's not a cursed location. It was just a lady that was very mad. Like, you should have made your payments, bitch. Not on us.
Right.
Well, and then there's no way to like confirm or corroborate the fact that she wasn't like, that's really messed up, and like did curse like that place with the intent of like, whoever takes this from me is gonna not be well.
Well, I don't even think it was that. I think it was just like she knew that she wasn't getting the property and that my stepdad bought it. But he knew like the whole situation that was going on, and he still chose to buy it. So I think she was going like, all right, well, I know it's you that fucking did this. You moved into the property, so I'm gonna fuck with whoever you are, not necessarily knowing who they are. But yeah, he did that, and then a couple years back, he had died of like, because my mom and him separated like 8 years ago, I want to say, and he passed away maybe like 6. And they had found him. He was like curled up in a ball, and then I guess like something in his stomach ruptured. And I was like, damn, you really did me like a really fucked up end. And his dog has like, I don't remember, they said the dog started eating him, but yeah, he was dead for a while before they found him. So I was like, I kind of think it's like, I wonder if that has anything to do with it too. But
You told that part pretty casually for how gruesome that is.
I mean, but in all fairness, his family, like a lot of them, met like very fucked up ends. Like I remember one time, he almost smacked me. Like this dude never raised his hand to me, but like I laughed when he told me this one, and he almost smacked the shit out of me. Because it was me, my sister, my older brother were sitting down. He was telling us like, yeah, it's like my grandma was blind, and then she was like 90 something, and he took us to his little village where he lived, and it was like a lot of like mountains, like kind of like cliffs and drops and all that. Like, yeah, my grandma was blind, and then she was picking berries one time, and she went off the cliff and she hit the rocks underneath, and she died, and that's how she passed away. And he was all serious and sad. And my older, I don't remember if it was me or my older brother, and we like look at each other and go, she fucking smuckered her face on that rock. And then we started laughing, and I swear to God, he almost fucking hit me. But yeah, like a lot of them, like his family, like kind of died in that way, where it's like pretty tragic and shit. I mean, fucking lean with it, rock with it. It is what it is. Sometimes it be that way.
So this is definitely like pretty pointed when I ask this, but what do you guys think about like a family curse or a generational curse, like something that will follow a specific family or like follow specific people even over time?
I mean, I think a family one's possible if you did enough wrong.
I've never heard of a generational curse.
Yeah, it's a really like common thing where like people over time like succumb to like sequential tragedies and stuff, like over generations, even a younger generation that wouldn't have had anything to do with any sort of like negative thing that happened, but it'll follow like a specific family.
So like the Kennedys?
Yeah, that's a really great example of like a generational curse or a family curse.
Shit. Alright, then I do know of a family curse, the Kennedys. Yeah, but like a lot of them's fucking horrible deaths, dude. Fucking JFK, he got his fucking head blown off. Okay, didn't Robert Kennedy get shot too?
Yeah.
And what is it? It was Robert Kennedy Jr.? Was that the one that died in that plane crash? They were like flying around the compound or something. They fucking either that or JFK's kid maybe.
No, because I think he's the one that's currently running.
Yeah.
In the presidency.
JFK's kid.
RFK Jr.
Oh yeah, RFK.
Okay, then I think it might have been JFK, his child. I don't remember what his name was.
We definitely did our homework before this.
Totally. I totally knew what a fucking generational curse was before we started doing this.
Well, so I'll stick to kind of like thematically what you guys do here. So what about like paranormal that will follow over generations?
Oh yeah,
I'm really trying to like pull this out of you, narrator, to see if you're gonna go there.
Like, what about a paranormal family? I was like, did y'all murder somebody as a family?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Is that why your dog sees ghosts?
So maybe I should start this off to like jog your memory.
Possibly, yeah, because my memory ain't that much gooder.
He's got goldfish brain.
The snack that smiles back.
Goldfish.
But so there's definitely things where like a family of people within the same bloodline will see the same like paranormal apparition or have the same paranormal experiences, and I do, like, did we establish that we're related already?
I think vaguely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'll continue to like leave that like really vague and ambiguous, but we are related.
Yes, we are.
And there's like 20 plus members of the family, including myself, who claim to have seen the exact I could pronounce things.
I know words.
Same apparition, and like all of them report that the experience is malevolent in nature,
which is always the most fun part of paranormal activity.
Do you know what I'm referring to?
If I'm thinking right, isn't it like a lady in white?
No, that's super common, but it's not that.
Ghost Ray likes to wear white. You're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day.
The man in the hat.
Oh yeah. That I've actually told you that story before.
A lot of men in
ago.
hats.
No, where my mom and my nini and our aunt, they used to live on a property at the base of a mountain, and they would go out to play in the backyard, and they would see just a shadow figure of a man in like a hat, but it would be like an old
bowler?
like news style reporter hat.
Oh no, he had a
Something
Newsies
like
cap.
that, right? Because they never said like it was a baseball cap or anything.
No. If I'm speaking from experience on this one, because I'm one of the people in the family who has had this experience.
Mm-hmm.
If we could do like the 90s Tombstone Doc Holliday hat, so like a very like wide brimmed hat. But like there's, like I said, probably 20 plus people in our family who have reported that, like you said, like My mom has seen it. Your mom has seen it.
And
All me and all of my siblings have had experience. There's a
Well, and I know for any time they'd see it too, it would always just be hiding behind a tree, like peeking out, trying to get them to come to it.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Well, there's also the experience like my brother had in the apartment.
That sounds very like fucking like Fae in nature. Like, come
Tattoo
here.
or no tattoo?
They both do. Well, which one? All of my brothers have tattoos, including
No,
myself.
I mean artist or non-artist.
Non.
Oh, okay. Because I remember the experience. What's funny is that apartment complex that they were in is the one that I lived in with him and the wife.
Oh,
Yeah.
That same apartment complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've told him that story. Well, the one that he told me about seeing where he woke up one day to the fucking his son crying out for help, and he was under a bed that he couldn't fit under, which means the bed had to be picked up and put on him.
Well,
And then seeing fucking red eyes in the closet after shit like that happening.
dude, I said it last time. I was like, surprisingly, you guys are dicks. You should have said something. With the fucking my closet, dude. Every time there's somebody, the fucking tall dude inside the closet, every fucking night.
I'm pretty
kept
sure I mentioned it, but you guys just kind of
that
were
made my
like,
stomach hurt. I don't
you,
like
you
that.
guys had kind of just like laughed it off. Like, I don't know if you thought I was serious or not.
Oh, there's a man in the closet.
okay, so the
Oh, shit.
full story for that incident was my brother at the time had married someone, and it kind of like created a blended family because she had a son prior already, and he was asleep in his room. I want to say age 6, 7 at the oldest.
Yeah.
And my brother awoke to him crying and went to check on him in his bedroom of the apartment. And he was under like a framed twin bed. Now, and the way the frame was, and it was like a big solid wooden frame, and there wasn't enough space for the kid to crawl under the bed.
Yeah.
But he was under it, which means someone would have had to lift the bed frame, put the kid under it, and then set it down.
Yeah.
Just because of the way the frame was, there was like a lip, so you couldn't crawl under it. Crying from under the bed, and when my brother like arrived to like get him out and, you know, obviously like console him, because he basically turned to the closet in the room, and with red eyes, the man in the hat just standing there.
So,
And he didn't back down though. He like said some shit, like closed his eyes once and opened up. Like he was ready to fight him. That's what he was telling me, is he was
he's
ready
like,
to
so I
fucking
shot into that
throw
closet.
hands. But it ended up just disappearing.
Okay, I don't like the fact that you guys glossed over the fact that this, whatever this hat man is or whatever, is like hiding behind a tree peeking at you guys and trying to get you guys to come over. I don't like the fact that
not
you guys
us.
just...
That was our moms that had that
Yeah,
experience.
that's fucking
I
wild.
don't know what his experience is, or I don't remember what the experience is.
And as the hat man vanished, all you hear in the wind is hee hee.
And you see the fading image of a white glove.
I wish the experience was like that laughable. Unfortunately,
Yeah, no,
it was.
I have a coping mechanism where I gotta make sillies or else I fucking start thinking about this too much. And this right now, when you told me like the red eyes in the closet, and then you're like, oh, it's the same place we lived in, and I was like, I've had like multiple experiences of something in that closet. I was getting chills. I was like, I gotta start making jokes. This is getting too heavy. I don't like this.
one of the experiences that I have, and I could speak to this in more detail, obviously, because it happened to me, is the area that my parents are in now. So you'll know, like, the march to the mailboxes. It's a place that has, like, there's no mail boxes out in front of the yard. It's like a neighborhood mailbox that you have to go a big block of them. And in that space, there's a wash off to one side.
Yeah.
Where all, like, the rain and stuff will go during the monsoon and it floods and stuff. But I used to make that walk at night, oddly enough, years later, to watch the same brother that I was speaking of before, to watch his kids. Because he ended up, moving and living in that same neighborhood for...
Oh, yeah, he was there for a while.
Yeah, for quite a long time. But in walking that path, I'm a teenager at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm like a freshman or a sophomore in high school. And I would turn that corner by the mailboxes, and the wash would be off to my right-hand side. And there was in the wash, so it's kind of like dipped, kind of like a V, and the water washed down the middle. But once you came up the lip of the V of the wash, there used to be like oleanders and stuff to the side before they ended up clearing it out. And so I'd pass by, and in those oleanders that stood 6 or 7 feet tall, I would see it standing there watching me as I passed by. And it happened several times. And I didn't act tough with it at the time. No, it was kind of like a bolt and get out of there.
Yeah. Fuck. The terrifying thing, like, is that it's generational. Like, your guys' parents fucking saw it and dealt with it, and then
See,
you guys...
I've never seen it. I've seen faces outside of my old bedroom window when I was a kid, but they didn't have hats. It was just...
You took it off. Imagine if
it
you would
was
have
just
been like...
images of heads and like faces, but that were obscured because of the way the glass was.
How much would you have shit your pants if you saw like the faces, and you just see a hand, and then just a hat?
Well, the worst part is the first time I thought it was my dad messing with me, trying to scare me.
Yeah.
So I go and I fling the door open. I can see it right here. I'm unlocking the door as quietly as I can. It's still right in that window. I'm like face to fucking face, back of the head, whatever with it. And I fucking fling that door open with all the power I can. It just hits the trailer and fucking bounces back and closes. No one was there.
Have you seen that fucking video? It's this dude, I think he's like in Mexico, because he's speaking some form of Spanish, but it's not like Spanish I understand.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like Spaniard or like Portuguese or something like that. But he's going to the bathroom, and then there's the shower right next to him, like the frosted glass. And you see just hands going, toot, 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 like banging on the door.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
And he fucking throws the door, like the sliding door open, and there's nobody there. And then same shit, like another night, he recorded it, and like you can see like a little girl kind of like sitting near the glass. He throws the door open, and there's fucking same thing, nothing there.
But it looks like, you remember Left 4 Dead, the witches?
Yeah.
It kind of looked like one of those just sitting hunched over like that.
Mini. Damn, fucking hat, man. Now I gotta be fucking paranoid about something else.
But yeah, so I'm pretty confident this. I don't know if you want to, if it would be considered a curse or how that would be defined, but I'm pretty sure it comes from our maternal side.
Yeah,
and it goes from the generation before our parents all the way to us now, and I guess what would even be the generation after us, because I know that I have nieces and nephews who have experienced the same thing. So we have like 4 generations of our family who have all seen the same thing.
Now my question is, Did one of your fucking like ancestors murder a hat man, and that's what's going on here?
No idea.
But as far as like on our maternal side, so it would be those sisters.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have seen it. All of their kids, which is really funny, with the exception, I think, of 2 of your siblings. I think it's hard for me to explain this subject without outright saying we're cousins, because you could arrive to that conclusion anyway.
Spoilers. Wait, you guys are cousins?
Yeah. The more you know. No, it's I don't mind that being out there.
But I think there's 2 siblings within your family who haven't, but one has. That'd be your eldest sibling.
The one
We don't need to get any more into that.
excommunicado is how I'll leave it, in the words of the great John Wick.
But do you guys think it's like the Hat Man is just something in your family? Because I remember telling you, I think this is before I even joined the podcast. I was seeing this girl who had a daughter, and she was like randomly telling me like, "Oh, I saw the Hat Man." I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like the guy who goes around selling ice creams, the little cart, like, ding ding ding, paletero man. He wears a hat. You son of a bitch! I knew it. But
it was him all along. He just didn't have any clear eyes. That's why his eyes were red.
he was in the sun. He hadn't drinking water.
Well, and that's the other thing, is that I can't. I'm not gonna like definitively say it's a curse. It sure feels that way. But I mean, because it's kind of suspicious that many people over that many generations would have the same experience, and all with the same kind of like negative aura surrounding the situations.
Yeah.
So this is less of a guardian angel thing, more of a malevolent being.
Yeah, definitely not anything kind, not anything anybody would brag about experiencing.
Yeah.
My family has a family wealth. Oh yeah, well, we have a fucking Hat Man. Suck it. I kind of want to like now talk to you guys as like moms and like hear more about the Hat Man, because
You better set aside some time.
oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm so fucking down.
No, my mom loves talking on the phone. I'll just call her and pass my phone to you, and you'll get a good hour's worth.
Imagine she's like, "Who told you about him? Huh? You were supposed to know. You're not supposed to tell people about the Hat Man."
I
Because
love
that is
you.
fucking
I love you, Mom,
terrifying,
but
dude.
you know I hate talking on the phone.
Yeah, because like moms always have like the greatest fucking like horror stories. Like I told you, my mom's thing with the fucking the lechuza, the Mexican witch that can like transform. It's basically a druid but evil. Like, because there was this lady in like a village where my mom and grew up and all that, and then she kept like trying to she was flinging them panties at my grandpa. And my grandpa was just an alcoholic who didn't know what the fuck was going on, but he was faithful. I'll give that man that. And she kept like, she like trying to flirt with him, and he'd always be like, "No, I'm married, I have kids. No, get away from me." And every night, because they had like 14 kids in like a fucking 2-bedroom house, so a lot of them had to sleep out on the porch, and they like the adults would alternate who slept outside the kids. And every night,
Culturally, that checks out.
Yep. And every night it was my grandpa's turn. There'd always be a giant fucking owl on the power lines, and it'd be like just there the whole night. And then whenever it'd be my grandma's turn, it'd never be there.
Kind of like how when my mom lived alone, she saw that giant fucking crow or raven on the power line.
Yeah, but then you also have to remember
And that was
it was
her
also
Ouija board time too.
yeah, it was all they always said that that witch she was either come as like a giant owl, a big ass black dog, or a bear. And then there's stories, I'm pretty sure I covered it too, where that fucking farmer, like, all his produce was getting fucking stolen, so that he went out and he fucking shot at the bear. He hit her in the shoulder, and then nobody saw that fucking witch lady for a while, and she came back, she was all bandaged. Like, I was in a car accident. And like, there's only 3 cars in this fucking village, you lying bitch, and we know you ain't got one. You got a crash in the Model T, you lying bitch. Yeah, but They always have like the best stories. But I really want to talk to your mom about the Hat Man now. Remind me.
I can do that.
But I also think that's probably a paranormal phenomenon or like a shared experience thing that a lot of people have experienced, and I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's just like that's a common trick of a malevolent entity, or
Or if our ancestors really fucked up that bad.
Now I'm just wondering, like, what would have happened if they would have gone to the fucking Hat Man? You think, like, you guys wouldn't be here?
Hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 next week.